All right, so this morning I saw one of my coworkers who came into my office area, who comes in a few times a month, and I could tell he was acting a little strange. And I knew it had to do with something that had happened with the leadership of the group. I could just tell he wanted to say something to me, but he didn't know how. And so it was a few hours passed, and I had gone to go get something to eat really quick, and then I came back and he was kind of pacing around my office, wanting to say something, but just didn't know how. Well, what he said will change the way that this channel is going to function for the rest of time, or at least until I find a much higher paying job. Because we all know that at the Evil Island, there are no pay raises, there are no promotions, there's just burnout, and that's it. I didn't think it would happen like this. Just a random conversation at work, and suddenly I'm exposed. No names, no details, no violations, and still they knew. Turns out, it's not what you say, it's the way you say things at all. And now the walls I thought were just background noise have started whispering back. If you understand what I'm saying here is Evil Corp knows who I am. Yes, you heard that right. Even without names or titles, corporations use digital footprints, employee gossip, and behavioral tracking to identify dissent. Workers are not just monitored at work, they're policed in their private lives. The illusion of free speech crumbles when your paycheck depends on silence. I was mortified to hear this. That in casual conversation between a coworker that stood by me, even while I was giving them hell all the way up to the top, he's like, "MillennialSteam, they know who you are." And I kind of just like, at first, I just wanted to brush it off as like, hey, that's kind of weird. But a few weeks ago, someone came onto my channel from my job and they got blocked. Because I don't want to be talking to anyone that I know in real life other than Mello, who I thought was the only person who knew who I really was in real life. Like, her and I have been the only people that have shared this channel together. But now, Evil Corp knows. And they don't like being called Evil Corp. And so, in reference, in the future, all references to that are going to revolve around the evil island that I work at. Talking point number 2. What feels like casual conversation can become ammunition. The corporate machine relies on internal informants, coworkers who trade trust for approval or protection. This environment turns every friendship into a potential liability and reinforces self-censorship. This is what I never wanted. When people ask me, "Oh, what's your YouTube channel?" If I have to let you know, that means that I'm not allowed to talk about something that you might not be fully on board with. So I have to censor myself, or I have to restart the channel at this point. I have to wipe it clean, go somewhere else, and for the third time in less than 6 months, start from scratch. I know that I can go through a lot of my large channel contacts in order to get back at least 1,000 of you tomorrow, but it's going to take me 3 months in order to get another thin dot. And because of how little I'm paid at Evil Island, the only reason that I can make it to my next paycheck during the month is because of my YouTube money. If it's not for my YouTube money, I'm not making it working there. It's just not enough money. And so you're kind of stuck between the rock and the hard place. How much do I need to censor myself now? Do I focus on content that has nothing to do while knowing full well that they're listening? Because that's the conclusion that I've come to. How much do I have to censor myself in a way in which I cannot be attacked by HR, attacked by the corporation, They have their dogs, believe me, and they have lots and lots of lawsuits. So, I mean, and this is who was I talking to the other day? I think I was talking to an HR person that came to visit me, and she's like, "MillennialSteam, you wouldn't believe how many people are coming after them." And I was just like, well, I probably know their names because they crossed my desk at some point. I don't know who exactly they are, but I know that they're out there. People who don't exactly believe that what happened to them was on the level. But the great thing about large corporations is they can lawyer up. They can keep you in court as long as they need to, and they will make certain that you never win. When I worked at Walmart, the number one thing you could do against Walmart is try to collect unemployment. They would fight you in court saying it was your fault, you were the problem. The reason you got termed was because you brought it on yourself. That's why they love point systems. When this girl that I know that lost her job 1 year ago, she lost her job, and I can't believe it's been a year. She hasn't been able to find another job. But when she tried to collect unemployment from them in that sales job, they said you absolutely do not qualify. And they brought up their point system. See, this is the progressive discipline that we've shown. You do not qualify for $200 a week of unemployment benefits. She tried to fight back, and they told her it would be 3 months before she had seen a penny of it. Has she gotten any money from unemployment benefits? No, because corporations don't like paying for anything that doesn't benefit them directly. Unemployment benefits hurts the corporation. They don't like that. They don't like paying for your health benefits. They don't like PTO. They don't like you going on vacation, and they love the fact that they know you're so hard up that every day you live in constant fear of losing your crummy job. And let's face it, people, the world is full of piece of crap jobs that nobody wants to work. No career, no chance set at anything. You're just scum to them. They don't like you. You don't like them. And you smile at work so you can keep your job so you can eat next week. But for most of us, the end is always near. Your expiration date is stamped on your forehead, and it has been since day one. Ever since I met the senior manager number one, I knew this guy wasn't on the level. I knew there was something wrong about him. There's not a person in management that comes from being fired after being fired after being fired from so many different jobs, and you just end up at this job because they're not looking for the best. They're looking for the cheapest. When they hire people, when you tell someone in the job interview that this is what you're going to do, and they respond by, I don't know how to do that, and you still hire them, it goes to show that they're not looking for the best. They're looking for people who will shut up and burn out. And that's what I've seen all around me. As I've said, I've seen thousands of people come through those gates and out the back, just like a mill. Put the log in, use it up, all the sawdust is everywhere, and then they go somewhere else. Like nearly every person that I work with has worked at another place with a very similar background. All of them, from the president to the employees to the administrators, they all play musical chairs. I mean, I did it at the university for 20 years. I was either working in physics, I was working in sports, I was working in languages, but all at the same place doing the exact same job. Regardless of where they put me, I do the exact same job. And why do I get hired? Because I've had to take over departments before. When the managers suddenly leave, like one of my first management positions was the guy that I was working for went completely insane. He assaulted me, asked me why I was there, asked me why someone with my level of education would take a minimum wage job. and basically didn't believe me that I wasn't out to get him. And the strange part is, I now see this guy nearly every Saturday at my local gym, which is really strange because he just vanished. For months, people would go by his house and look inside to see where he had gone. He just vanished into thin air. But that was one of the first times I just had to take over. And so I was running my own department. And then the same thing happened at my next job where management disappeared and they didn't have anyone else to take over. So it's like, here you go, figure it out. And so I have been figuring things out since I was pretty much a teenager. Because when people vanish, it takes time. You can't just replace an IT manager when one goes crazy. And that's the beautiful thing in working in technology. Everyone goes crazy because they're already crazy. All it takes is the stress, the grind, and the humiliation of the work to push them just a little bit further. That's what happened to the senior manager. I could see him coming unglued in real time. His alcoholism got bad, his substance abuse got bad, his behavior was unpredictable, unstable. Somehow he managed to find Jesus. It was a mess. And as a person with a behavioral education background, I see it. I see people start falling apart. They can't take the pressure of having to constantly work harder. It's actually something one of my coworkers said to me today. He's like, this company always wants people working harder. No one's going to work harder for these tiny paychecks. I've talked to every single person that works in my department, and every single person has said the same thing. I don't want to work here. And I'm just like, sometimes finding something better isn't in the cards for you. Just stay until you're forced to look for something better. Even my current coworker who told me about this surveillance today said to me on many occasions, I don't want to work here. But what else am I supposed to do? My kids need food, my kids need to go to school, my wife works part-time. What am I supposed to do? I don't like this company. And I'm just like, he's even asked me, it's like, what do you think I can do? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I've spent 20 plus years working in the same field. I don't know what to do. People tell me all the time, it's like, you're too good for this job. You should find something better. And I'm like, really? Tell me what? Even Gen Z, who has been looking for another job since he started working here. From day one, he looked around. He didn't like the management. He still doesn't like the management. But who's going to hire him? He holds on to a company that isn't looking for the best. It's holding on, looking for people that are the worst. The first few interviews when I hired a Gen Z were full of retail workers. That's who applied to these jobs. They're not computer people. A lot of the people that they hire in different positions, they're not full computer people. They're janitors. They're cleaning ladies. They're people who have been working in places that they get. I guess one of the people that's planning on coming on board soon, he spent 5 years working at Target. These are the kinds of people that you have to get. The technology field isn't lucrative like it was 20 years ago anymore. They're just looking for people to fill space. And the worst part of all, and this is actually what I was thinking when I was driving home today, it's like every person you meet that works in this field is autistic, depressed, or a substance abuser. Every single one of them. And you're just like, and again, I've seen this throughout my entire technology career since I was a teen. You're talking about men who aren't going to find women. You're talking about men who are going to have to get themselves a mail order bride because their personalities are so horrible that no woman would go near them. In fact, today I had a woman who came into my office today and she's just like, MillennialSteam, will you help me? And then towards the end, she's like, I'm going to stop in to visit you more often because I enjoy spending time with you. And I was just like, what an odd thing to say to me. But hey, I basically sit in a large empty room by myself all day. But I'm off on a huge tangent. So, talking point number 3. Being forced to stop talking about your job doesn't mean giving up. It means shifting focus to the bigger picture. Now the story becomes about all workers, all systems, the architecture of silence itself. You become a symbol of adaptation under pressure. And that's even more powerful. Becoming a symbol to the proletariat is something that I've been wanting to do since I was a little kid. And when people come to watch this channel, that's what they're here for. They're hoping that someone will understand that everyone is out here struggling. Everyone is out here depressed. Everyone is out here spending 90% of their income for food, shelter, and transportation. None of us are going to get rich in this system. And the stronger the surveillance is against us, people watching us and wondering, what the hell is wrong with that guy? Why doesn't he just put his head down like all of us? Why doesn't he become a sheeple like all the rest of us? Why doesn't he come to work and act like he wants to be here? Because he doesn't. We all need jobs. There are two kinds of people in this world: the kind of poor people that work and the kind of poor people that live on the street. Eventually, we all become poor people who live on the street. I've lived on the street a dozen times in my life. Is it fun? No. Is work better than living on the street? Slightly. But at the end of the day, we all have to make the decision. Every time you drive past a homeless person and you look at them. You look at how dirty they are, the lack of opportunity, the fact that they probably are insane at some point from being on the street. That could be you very easily. It's not so far away. Even when you look at a stray dog, that dog may be able to survive better outside, but it still knows that it's better to live inside. They wanted silence, not just mine, but yours too. Because if one person speaks up, others might realize that they're not crazy, not lazy, not alone. So I won't give them the satisfaction of disappearing. I'll just change frequencies. This isn't the end of my voice, it's just the start of something louder. When I build these videos now and into the future, it's just going to be different. It's not going to be silenced. It's just going to be more precise. I don't intend to stop making videos because Evil Corp wants to come over here and scratch their belly and look at the at this channel and think, you know what? This guy has a lot of responsibility for someone that really, really doesn't like the world. I'm against a system like this. I'm against a system that plugs in its widgets every single day and expects for them to dance for the minimum wage. Because the wages we need are not the wages we're going to get. They're well past giving people what they need. They'll give you enough to retain you for another day, another minute, even another second. But beyond that, their concern with you, there's no concern. Whether you're here tomorrow or you're gone, I've seen it too many times. In fact, I was just talking to one of the teachers today, and she's just like, do you remember so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah. She was here for 5 years, and she vanished like that, and no one spoke her name again. It's the way it happens everywhere you go. It's the way it happened to Mella when she left her retail job. No one even remembers her. Nearly 2 decades of service. No one thinks about her again. You're just gone. You turn your head over and look over your left shoulder, and that person's missing. It used to happen to me when I worked at Insight all of the time. It was a daily occurrence. It's like, oh, what happened to so-and-so? They got fired. They found a better job. Or they decided to just stop working. because they didn't feel like it was worth it. Because we're all poor. We're just different levels of poor. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy the double upload today. And thank you for all of those people that have helped me reach 1 million views today. I posted that this morning. I'm sure that I hit 1 million views today. And I am so glad that there's enough of you out there to make doing this worthwhile, to take the risks to do this type of material. Because at 1 million views, you understand that you're meeting people across the entire planet. There are people that come and visit my channel from every corner of the planet. And to have a voice like that, to reach into people, to understand that you're not alone and that we're not okay as a global community.